Hey there, legendary souls. Welcome back to Unconventional Counseling. I'm Ada at Astra, your astrologer, tarot reader, Reiki master. And today we're talking even more about this full moon Scorpio energy. We're going to see what different messages are coming up because the message that we had yesterday was so focused on holding your vision, surrendering to the divine, and just about the obsessive energy that can come up and around particularly Scorpio energy. With this reading, there's more vibrancy just because I'm using a different deck. And we're also talking about the sun in Taurus, just a little bit differently. So we're going to see what additional messages are going to come out for you, for us, for the collective. We'll start with our prayer. Divine alchemist, angels and archangels, well ancestors for the viewer's highest good, well ancestors for my highest good, we invite you in at this time and we thank you so much for your continued presence along our journeys. Thank you for the message that is about to come out. I feel like it's going to be a surprise for all of us. So we so appreciate your willingness to offer us additional guidance, additional support. We know all about the feelings that are coming up now, but what are the messages that y'all are trying to offer to us? What is the guidance? What might we discover as we work through the feelings, divine, and whatever else you're trying to tell us? Maybe a clear channel for the messages that are coming through, and may the viewer be able to practice their discernment to leave what doesn't resonate and to know and honor what does resonate so that they can take the messages that work for them and that can apply to their life and their particular circumstance and situation, that they don't get confused, muddled, or overwhelmed by messages that are for someone else. We ask all these things knowing, trusting, affirming that there's so much that you have already done, so much you're currently doing, and so much you're going to do in service of these intentions, and to bring this message to light. Thank you so much. Ashe. All right, so let's start reading up about the sun and Taurus and the moon and Scorpio. All right. The sun, source. In your natal chart, the sun symbolizes the core of your personality, your life force, ego, and consciousness. The sign and aspects of the sun describe how you express that basic vital energy. So the sun is in Taurus now, which is asking us to cultivate. And Taurus asks you to hold still, to dig in, to grow roots, and to strengthen over time. The sun being in Taurus is asking us to manifest in a practical way. Taurus rules the neck and the voice. Its purpose is to bring life into matter through growing wildflowers and crops, through our muscular strength and the sensual potential of our bodies, and through the solidness of our material resources. Heck yeah. All right, so work with this metaphor of gardening. Plow the ground, plant the seeds, nurture the crops with water and fertilizer, and protect those crops from predation. I think that means pests. Grow roots rather than travel. Ooh, that's a message for me, y'all. Maybe it's a message for you too. Investigate what concrete form your project should take and the next practical steps in that direction. Appreciate the senses. Notice what you see, smell, hear, feel, and taste. Use the senses to be in the present moment and let time flow by. Cuddle, feed. In a relationship, listen to both the signals of body chemistry and the practicalities of your life to give it a fertile field. Cultivate your garden. Like a slowly growing flower basking in the sun, find contentment in this very moment. Explore the roots of the situation Ask what feeds this idea or what feeds your soul. Oof, oof. Just feeling real sensual, real sexy. If you're feeling pushed around, sit, hold still, grow roots, and let the storm pass over you. Don't hurry. Play the long game as you plant and tend your crops. Wow. So the sun's light shines through the teacher, the actor, the lover, the leader, those who use their enthusiasm, warmth, and charisma for a common good. Taurian energy, going slow, feeling into your body, is taking center stage right now. This is what's shining. This is what's illuminated. This is what's energized. So notice what feeds your body. Notice what feeds and nourishes your soul. And let the sun, the Taurus sun, flow through you. Allow your health to improve, your vitality to grow. Draw on a sense of energy and enthusiasm for all things physical. Step into that potential. If you're asking about a project, notice how the vitality flows through the design and clear the path. And let this situation be a channel for the sun's energy. Feel it take on a life of its own. So plant the seeds. If this is about a project, plant the seeds for the project. Till the ground, till the soil, use the metaphor. And then let it be. Let it do its thing. Let it grow. Some affirmations we have. Oh, I am the love of my life. I am enough. And, reflect on your strength. Reflection is great at the time of the full moon. We forget how strong we are until we look back at all we've overcome. You are resilient, and your growth is forever. Especially with the bull here. We're talking about our bodies. Heck yeah. All right. So the challenge. Taurus excess can lead you to mistake stubbornness for strength. Ooh. Or to look for spiritual and emotional answers in the material world. There will never be enough stuff to fill an emotional void. Yikes. Do you feel dragged? I feel a little dragged. I'm grateful for it, but damn, thank you, Spirit. Sensuality is a Taurus gift, but sex alone will not fulfill a desire for love. Clarify your hunger. That feels like a freaking mic drop. We have the rest of the reading to do, but I'm like, oh my, the power. Oh. Wow. Recognize that it is a false belief to believe that you are the center of the universe and that others are not. Learn to earn attention and respect rather than to demand or expect it. Wow. And the gift. Everything that surrounds you is made up of matter. And the word matter comes from the Latin word mater, or mother. Ooh. Okay, so let's reread that. Everything that surrounds you is made up of mother. Wow. That brings us back to the divine, right? That brings us back to creation. That brings us back to everything that we see, everything that we can cultivate, everything that is cultivated, whether it comes from the earth, whether it comes from the hand of a human, whether it comes from the divine. All things come from the divine. It is created, it is cultivated, it is mothered. in some way. Wow, I love that. Taurus connects you to the sacred Earth Mother Gaia herself, the physical vessel who holds spirit in the body, in the plants, and in the earth beneath us. That's the gift for this Taurus season. Connect to Gaia, connect to your physical vessel, connect to the plants, connect to the earth beneath us. Love that. An additional gift. This sunlit moment, this Taurus season, is an opportunity to let your ego step out of the way and to let the sun's light flow through you and let spirit do the work. Shine wholeheartedly and share the warmth with friends, family, your community, and the world. Make it an offering. Live the truth. I am the center of the universe, and so are you. Wow. What would that be like? To cultivate a shared reality that we're all allowed to be here, that we're all meant to be here, all of us, to coexist. What would that be like in your family, with your friends, with your community, with the larger world? Wow, especially as you're focusing on your body. That sounds real powerful. That sounds really powerful. Let me pull a tarot card or two. The Ace of Wands. That's right. That's right. It feels like there's like an ancestor who's like, that's right, boo. It's time for the new. It's coming. It's here. It's now. Don't even worry. Maybe that's a message for someone. All right, let's move on to the moon and Scorpio, where we're focusing in the area of perception, but we're bringing a sense of investigation to that perceptive energy. So interesting. All right, let's see. The moon, ruler of Cancer, speaks of the deep inner river of emotions, what motivates you, how you experience and express your feelings, and how you nurture and how you need nurturance. In your astrology chart, the moon is just as important as the sun, even though it's much smaller. I love. It colors our moods, our habits, and our behaviors. And now, in the sign of Scorpio, Scorpio asks you to dive down and reach into the wellspring of your soul. Yes, it does. Scorpio's symbols are the eagle and the scorpion. As this sign invokes both the soaring heights of the eagle's perspective, so part of our perception with the Scorpio full moon will be to soar, to come to greater heights in what we are investigating, and the scorpion's ability to burrow under the rocks of the psyche or the culture. So we're also going to the depths and the hidden spaces within ourselves and within our society, our culture. So you're going to be investigating. There's going to be a lot of potential for what you're capable of investigating at this time. Scorpio energy is also connected to the pelvis and the root chakra. So pay special attention to your pelvic area during this week. Pay special attention to your root chakra during this week. Are you feeling scared? Are you feeling secure? In what areas are you feeling secure? In what areas are you feeling nervous or scared? Right? Like, focus in on how your pelvic area feels this week. Is there any activity, energy, tension, pleasure, aliveness happening in this area? Or that you want to, are there things that you can do to support through stretching, through taking it easy, through hot water bottles, things like that, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Drop assumptions and ask questions. Ooh, I like this. I like this book. Be fascinated by a mystery. Dive deep into the well rather than settle for the surface. Damn. Damn. This is not the week. This is not the time to stay on the surface. This is not the week to be content with small talk, with superficial conversations, relationships. You might want to take a break from anyone that you feel like you can only speak on the surface with this week, because they might bring up a deep sense of irritation within you. Mm-hmm. Or you might want to hang out with them and see if you can take the conversations or the relationship deeper, if you have the capacity or the willingness for that. All right, so perceive what unspoken emotional inner calling and patterns drive you this week. When you cooperate with the moon's emotional motivation to dive deep with Scorpio, you'll find that it's easier to walk in harmony with your path. Next, investigate the needs and the wants of those around you. The emotions underneath the surface actually run the show. Those primary drives are expressed through habits and actions, nuance and expression, rather than through words. Look for that underground ocean. It carries the soul's energy. And speak to the insecurities that slow the process. Act in a way that helps others feel nurtured, warm, and emotionally connected. Make them feel at home. Aww. Remember, the energy of whatever situation you're asking about will wax and will wane. So assess the current phase and work with those cycles. For the full moon, though, there are going to be things that are reaching a peak right now. There are going to be things that are coming to a head. Take nothing at face value. Look under rocks, be curious, because the situation might require some research. Things might be coming to a head, but it still might feel like something is hidden or not quite exposed or at the surface, right? Like, we're talking about the connections that you feel are at the surface, or the conversations that are at the surface. You might feel irritated because that's not what you want this week. This week, you want to go deep. You want to probe the unconscious passions that motivate the situation, and the conscious ones too. Also, be aware of any sexual dynamics that are in this process, any power dynamics as well that are in this situation. And if you have the capacity, be curious about the role that they play. Look at the worst case scenario so that you can prepare. What a Scorpio thing, my goodness. And then allow yourself to feel safe enough to search for the best case scenario. I always offer that. I try to always offer that to my clients. If they're like, I'm going to think about the worst case scenario, and I'm like, all right, if you have the capacity, also think about the best case. Because that balance is so important for our nervous systems and for our minds. That's a really good practice for us. Be ready to transform and transmute this situation and distill the essence. Play your cards close to your chest. It's time to gather information, get the facts, work that material, and introspect. Listen to both the facts and to your own intuition rather than other people's opinions. So this week you might have, because you're working with the moon, you might have a very clear and intuitive sense of people are saying this thing on the surface, but something is happening underneath. There are other unconscious motivations. There are things that are coming out like habits. There are things that are coming out as the actions people are taking. And you might notice that within yourself as well. So if you're connecting to anyone, interacting with anyone, or in a situation with anyone or an institution where it feels like their words are not aligned with their actions, they're their words don't feel aligned with their motivations. Like you can tell that there's something going on underneath the surface. Just allow yourself to take notes, gather the facts, gather the intel, and then take all that information and distill it, sit with it, be with it. Because other people, especially the other people who are in these situations and who are doing things that feel misaligned from what they're saying, they may not be the thought partners that you need at this time. You might get very confused if you try to go to certain people during this week to try to figure things out with them. You might need to take the space and take the time to be with yourself, to work with the moon, to see what all has been coming up and what you've been feeling about it all. Share only when you're ready. That readiness is a feeling that comes up inside of you. It's not something that someone else outside of you can really bring to the fore. It's yours. It's inside of you. And appreciate your moments alone. Because if you can learn to be comfortable alone, I don't like how they worded this, but I also like it. Okay, it feels very Scorpio. If you can learn to be comfortable alone, you will have more bargaining power in relationships. I'm not going to digest that. You take that. If that resonates, if it doesn't, it don't. Within the depths of your soul is your connection to the infinite. Search for it. Love. I love where we're going with all of this. The challenge. Look to feelings rather than logic to move the situation forward. Notice any strange responses to anxiety, touchy personal defenses, nepotism, xenophobia, subjectivity, or insecurity, either in your motivation or in those around you. Tend to the fear that lies underneath these behaviors. And one fear that comes up from all of them, right, is a lack of being important, a lack of being special, is being called out, but not because of specialness, of being othered, of threat, of being distant from. So get a sense of what the fear is that lies underneath what's going on for you. I would say start with you first, because sometimes, especially with Scorpio energy, we can get in such a deep space of investigation about what someone outside of us is doing. And Scorpio doesn't really have a chill or an off button. So I really caution you to try to find time to take breaks, time to rest. And I also encourage you to try to balance. Like if you're going to look at somebody else's motivations and try to distill what you're seeing and what you're feeling, also look at your own so that you're not just on a rampage about what someone else is doing or not doing. It'll soften some of that energy and it will humble. It'll bring some humility to like, oh yeah, I'm human, they're human, we're all human. I don't like what they're doing or saying. I don't like that they're out of alignment. I don't feel safe here. And I do this too sometimes, right? Like, we just want to massage some of that out sometimes, wherever we can. Remember to question everything, including your own concerns. Oh my goodness, the more that we read about this Scorpio energy and we're talking about it in the full moon, I'm feeling a little nervous for you in the collective. I'm like, if you question in everything, like, how do we make sure you don't get paranoid? I'm just like, be careful. But that's just my own stuff. Like, you gonna do what's right for you. You'll be okay. Spirit got you. It's okay. It says jealousy and possessiveness drain your energy and waste your time. Before triggering your defenses, the scorpion sting, ask if that response will actually get you what you need. So I was reading up about scorpions, and I learned that the scorpion stings as its last ditch effort. It's not the first thing that it does when it feels threatened. It'll hiss, it'll move around, it'll like spray. It has like a poison that it has. It'll spray it. It'll do all these different things to be like, yo, back up. Yo, I don't like this. Yo, get away from me. Yo, I feel threatened. And when all of those ways that it tries are not honored or listened to, when the person or the threat or the predator does not back up, that's when the scorpion stings. So allow for yourself to take in that medicine of the scorpion. Don't sting on the first go, because like this week you coming off of this really intense eclipse portal with Libra, doing like, it was all the shadow energy with the south node and with the north node in Aries with the new moon solar eclipse and with Chiron. So there's a lot of pain that might still be at the surface. There's a lot of triggers and anxieties and insecurities that might still be very present with you. So you might not have a lot of capacity or as much as you would in another season to not sting on the first go around. But if you can just even for a moment be like, oh, I'm about to sting, take a deep breath and try to see, what do I need? What do I need? Do I need a break? Do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to go outside? Do I need to get away from this situation just for even 5 minutes? Just ask yourself, what do I need? I'm about to sting. What do I need? Because we want the sting to be the last ditch effort. You don't want to have to do more work later. You're already doing so much work now, right? Because you might have to repair after if you sting and you care about the relationship. All right, so the gift. Transformation. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And this transformation, this particular transformation that you're in this week, is one that's going to have a sense of ebb and flow. It's not going to be all intense all the time in the same ways every day. This week, it's going to be, some days it's intense in a subtle way, some days it's intense in an inner way, some days it's intense outwardly. Maybe some days it's intense in all the ways, but every moment might not be. Might not. Depends on your journey in this life and for this full moon. But the Scorpio full moon is giving you the strength and the curiosity to get to the depths of you and to face the monsters that have lived in the crevices. And then to soar to new heights and to transform the situation. So if you've ever watched a horror movie ever, and you notice that the monster, the chase and the fear and all of that like tension with the monster or the villain or the killer, it only lasts for as long as whoever is the main character won't face the monster. So if things get very, very intense inside or outside or both, because they're connected this week, it's time to stand still, as the Taurus sun energy was offering us, and to turn around and to face the monster. It's time to look at it in the eyes. It's time to look at, wait, how big is it? Is it bigger than me, or is it casting a shadow and I feel like it's bigger? Does it look as scary and as ugly as I'm imagining in my head? Or is it just kind of look like this, this cartoon character from this other thing, or this monster from Monsters, Inc.? Like, can you bring some play into it? Can you bring some relief for yourself just by facing it, just by looking at it? What is this big, scary, horrible thing? Can you look at it? Because if so, you'll be able to go to a new height, gain a new perspective, and be able to transform this situation that maybe has been plaguing you and running you down for some time. All right. Our affirmations. As within, so without. Have compassion for yourself and others. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. Everything is a reflection. When we change, everything changes. So really, if you can't, that's okay. But if you can, let the sting be the last thing that you do. Let it be the last thing. Let the compassion shine through. And if the sting happens, if you have the capacity, when you have the capacity, return to do some repair. Have some compassion, especially for yourself first. Repair from a place of self-compassion is so different from repair from a place of shame, right? Because repair from a place of shame, we find ourselves apologizing like 25 times, like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But repair from a place of self-compassion, has like a more empowered energy to it. You can apologize, you can ask questions of the other person, you can hold space, you can take accountability, you can acknowledge how they felt. It's so much more expansive. And our last one, look at this. Keep being you. There's nothing wrong with you, viewer. You're a gift. You're wonderful as you are. And what others say and do is not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them. Don't take anything personally. It drains your energy. Wow. Okay, I want to see if there is one more tarot card for you. Oh, yeah, the Six of Cups. You're going to be talking quite a bit and feeling quite a bit into your inner child this week. So that self-compassion is really important, because the insecurities that are coming up, the fears that are coming up, like not wanting to face the monsters in all of these different ways, wanting to sting, it's coming from a hurt part of you, a very tender, young, vulnerable part of you, your inner child. So wherever you can offer self-compassion to yourself is already going to transform the situation, because you doing that for you automatically softens the energy that you're bringing to other people. It automatically strengthens the wisdom and of character that you have when you're in conversation with other people and you're doing all this investigative work. So we're going to pause our reading here. I sense you got something real special out of it. I feel that, because I got a lot of special things too. And take really good care of yourself this week. Be gentle with yourself as much as you can be. Feel all of your feelings all the way through, and know that there are new heights for you to transform the situation. There are new depths for you to discover as the energy of this situation gets transmuted as well, viewer. All right. I will see you in the future. I'll catch you soon. Bye.